Hey, good morning, family. Good morning, God's people. Once again, thank you for joining me today. I am excited, so excited about this next section of my testimony because I get to talk about the goodness of the Lord in this time in my life of where He's taken me to. I started to talk about where I started, what I went through, and what He carried me through. And now I get to start to talk about what He brought me into and what He's continuing to take me into. And all glory in this testimony, it belongs to the Lord, because not one single part of this did I do in my power or can I claim any responsibility for. I remember coming out of jail. I believe it was March 16th of 2022. I had for the previous year been in my Bible on my knees praying out to God, saying, Lord, I am finished with this life. I don't want to do this anymore, and you got to help me. I've made phone call after phone call to my parents, to my brothers and sisters, to my daughter, saying, this is over. I'm not doing this anymore. When I get out this time, I'm ready for a change. I'm going to be a new man. And I prayed and I cried out to God. I read the Word. I did everything that I know to do in my power to get ready. And when I got out, I talked about how I only lasted 3 days, and I was right back into drug use and to stealing and to all kind of mischief. And the Lord takes those promises seriously, and He definitely chastens those who are His, and He won't let us slip. He won't let us fall, because within 8 days, by the 24th of March, I was right back in jail. Thank you, Lord, because He said to me, you're not going to lie to me. Don't make these promises to me and think you're not going to keep them. You now invited me into the story, so I'm taking over from here. And so I went back to jail for another week. By the grace of God, it was for a misdemeanor, and so I only stayed for a week, but it was a wake-up call, and it was God telling me for sure that you're not going to go back on what you told me. You made some promises, and you invited me into the story, and now I'm taking over. And so I got back out. It was April 1st, 2022, and I was lost. Just again, I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and that same day I was right back into the same thing. By the 3rd of April, I was out of money. I was homeless once again. I just was wore out. I was done. And this is when I found myself sitting on the park, or on the bench, and just weeping. I made phone calls to my daughter saying, listen, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's come to this, but your dad is just not able to maintain. I was beaten, I was broken. We call it in recovery pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. Just at the lowest point, I had reached my bottom. And in that moment, I was just sobbing and weeping and basically making last phone calls, just telling everybody, listen, I realized that this time the Lord is not going to send me back to jail. I had a choice to make. It was either new life or the grave. And I realized that this time He was done playing with me. If I was going to continue to be disobedient and I wasn't going to do what I said, it was going to be over with for me. As a matter of fact, a street friend of mine and I went in on a bag of drugs that was supposed to be crystal meth together, and we used that bag together. And I found out later, after I was in recovery, about a week later, that same bag of drugs that we purchased together and both were using, he ended up overdosing on and dying about a week after I left to go to recovery into a sober living program and started this journey. So I know that the Lord has been faithful, that He's pulled me out, and He was not taking His hands off of me, nor was He playing around anymore with me. Once I said that I was His, He takes that seriously.